Guys, you know what I was thinking about today? Men have it so easy. Men have it so freaking easy. One, they don't bleed every month, okay? They don't go through literal psychosis 3 weeks out of the month, okay? Which that leaves 1 week that I'm normal, that I'm a normal person. So that's 12 weeks out of the year that I'm a sane human being. And that probably goes for every girl, because depending on like what phase I'm in like my cycle or whatever, I will literally be back crazy, like crazy. And then like I'll look back like on my normal week, I'll look back on like see what I did during those other 3 weeks, and it's like, holy shit, who was that person? So that's issue number one. Okay. Issue number two is, honestly, I really think men have the pick of the litter. They do, because there are so many pretty single girls out there. And then when you look at the ratio of single pretty women to single pretty men, or like good looking men, girls, men, okay? That's how it is. Anyway, that's just my thought of the day, and there's so many other things that men have it easy with, and this is just me complaining. Okay, bye.
Well, I'm sorry, Wendy, but I just don't trust anything that bleeds for 5 days and doesn't die.
Hey woman, the fact that you have period privilege is pretty much living proof that you not only have it easier than dudes, you've pretty much decided that your period is your personality. I mean, think about it for a second. 3 weeks out of every month, you act rude, entitled, irritable, mean-spirited, bloated, messy, lazy, and all around unpleasant. And you use your period privilege as a get-out-of-jail-free card so you don't have to act like a decent human being. I mean, we all know this. That's why the proud members of the illustrious Bottom 95% Club want nothing to do with you. Now, you're only half right when it comes to the men that you're describing. Yeah, they do have it easier because they have everything that you want except the physical attraction to you. And any woman who feels the need to extend her period by 3 weeks just so she can act as annoying as she wants isn't worth taking seriously. And I personally can't wait to find out how you're going to justify your crap attitude after you've hit menopause, because trust me, sister, it'll be there sooner than you think, so you might want to start writing down your excuses now.
Good luck.
I'm trying to break a really bad habit, and that bad habit is saying I hate men, because I don't hate men. I hate the patriarchy, I hate sexism, I hate homophobia, I hate white supremacy, I hate racism, I hate transphobia, I hate fascism, I hate capitalism, I hate evil power structures which are held up by men who benefit from patriarchy, and I hate the way that patriarchy forces men to participate in it in order to maintain their sense of self. But there are many, many wonderful individual men I know, men with high degrees of integrity who do the work, who understand that they are not the only people on this earth who count as people. But it's really hard habit to break, because sometimes it feels like I hate men, because there are so many men who do not know how to separate themselves from the power structures that benefit them. And I am positive that the same thing can be true with me and whiteness, but I really need to stop saying I hate men, because I don't hate men. I hate what they benefit from, and I hate the way they do not divorce themselves from it when they don't.
Right.
Wow, that is an awful lot of hate you're carrying there, sweetheart. I mean, I've lost count of how many statements you've made that started with the words I hate. And I don't think you realize how much hate you really have in your heart there. I personally don't see how you can experience any form of joy in your life with how much you hate. And the sad part is there's no reason to be carrying this much hate, because you don't even know what to hate. You can't define the patriarchy or even a single way that it benefits men in general. You just hate it because someone told you to hate it. Now, I will give you some credit for recognizing that you shouldn't be making that statement as much as you do, but woman, doing that is like eating a diet of nothing but chocolate cake, fried chicken, 6 liters of your soda of choice, and smoking 2 packs a day, and then adding in 1 apple in an attempt to get healthy. Sure, it might be a step in the right direction, but at the end of the day, you're still going to be morbidly unhealthy. And the sad part is you're so deep into the hate industrial complex that there is no way you're going to be able to let any of that hate go.
I know it, your family knows it, dogs know it.
Guys, why is dating so hard? Seriously. So I went out on 2 dates this week, right? And really, these men were presented to me basically on a silver platter and said, Jamie, these are your picture perfect men. Please just choose one. Just choose one. And you know, you think that would be easy, right? And these guys were picture perfect. Everything I wanted career-wise in a guy, everything I wanted like looks-wise in a guy, all the things, right? All the things. A little bow on top and said, Jamie, choose your player, right? So I get to the dates, okay, and they're both perfectly fine. They're great guys. But you know when you vibe with somebody, you just vibe, and then when you don't, you don't. Those were both of these guys. And you know, maybe it's a me thing because these guys were both vibing with me, right? Because afterwards they did all the things, texted me, seeing when we could go out again, like all the stuff, right? And you know, I just could not do it. But it sucks because when you have a picture perfect person like in front of you and you can't choose them or date them, it's like, why? What is the issue, right? What is the issue?
Emotional damage.
Well, there's your problem right there, sweetheart. You're literally complaining that you had 2 dates with incredibly handsome, successful men, and you shot them both down because you didn't immediately become obsessed with them. And that's because what you tell yourself, what you think you want, and the types of men that you actually want are 2 completely different things. If you had the choice between a profoundly wealthy guy with low standards and a badass biker with awesome switchblade skills and who's pounding infected grease traps of infinite regrets left and right, then we all know who you choose. You straight up don't want those good men, even when they're handed to you on a silver freaking platter. And what's the point of being with the man if he can't implicate you in a black market firearms deal that went horrifically awry? You might be willing to get with a good man, but only if he's more perfect than perfect. And even then, you'll still find an excuse to either cheat on him or dump him outright. It's not the men, sweetheart. If you want to know why dating is so hard for you, just look in the mirror. But when you do it, try to fight the impulse to cake on 12 pounds of makeup. I mean, it's not going to help you in the slightest, but it still makes a fun dare for us.
All right. Easy money. Come on.
Here's why I think coffee dates work against you as a man. Okay, hear me out. Now I'm talking about my demographic. As you get older, maybe this is different. However, oftentimes attraction isn't there from the very beginning. And what's very important is for you to set the scene, okay? And what happens with coffee is, in my opinion anyway, I think coffee is like an interview. Coffee is something that my 90-year-old grandmother would maybe go do. If you're gonna do something like this, I highly suggest doing drinks, because drinks are fun. You go in the evening, there's some nice ambiance, you can get some cute cocktails, you're setting the scene. A sexy scene, if you will. Coffee? Not sexy. Not at all. So, I just think this doesn't work in your favor at all. It's a date that you can literally do with your coworkers or with your dog. I just think it doesn't work in your favor.
No.
Nope, sorry sister. Men were not put on this earth to pay to enable your latent alcoholism. Coffee dates are perfectly fine because they're low effort. They're cheap, they don't require dressing to the nines, and because it's in a public coffee shop, if things aren't going well, you can bail at any time without any issue. And why is it our job to make the setting sexy for you anyways? If you're not attracted to the guy, it doesn't matter the ambiance, you're not going to be interested. Now I understand why you want drinks. Free dinners are off the table since you and your brood of hive-minded nincompoops pretty much admitted that you're just using us for free food. So you're trying to get a free drink for the trouble, and that's just not happening. Besides, isn't taking a woman out for drinks on a first date dangerous? And here I was thinking that all men were looking to do was just find an excuse to spike your drink and make you feel unsafe. So it sounds to me like you want something for nothing, and that's not how the world works anymore, darling. If you want some fancy, sexy cocktails, then just do what you always do. Go to the bar by yourself and pray that some dude is drunk enough to hit on you, because that's the only way you're getting any free cocktails out of the deal, sweetheart.
To alcohol, the cause of and solution to all of life's problems.
Divorced ladies who are dating, I need your opinions on dating for your second husband. So it's really rare for me to get beyond 2 dates with hinge men.
I'm shocked.
Just because you know right away. You've been married before, you know right away, like, that's not gonna work. Or they ghost you, so whatever. So I don't get beyond 2 dates. Now, I have been seeing this guy and we've had I would say 5 dates. Like one was kind of like a long 2-day thing and we'll break it up and call it 2 dates, whatever. But 5 dates. And he is really, really great. And he's not on TikTok, so he'll never see this. But he's a great guy, but I feel like he's not my second husband material.
I feel I was denied critical, need to know information.
Whoa, hold the phone there, Chatty Cathy. You literally just said that you know right away if you want to marry the guy that you're dating, but then you immediately turn around and say that you've been seeing a dude for 5 whole dates and you don't think he's marriage material. So this would imply that you knew this guy was going nowhere, but you still strung him along because he's giving you attention, which is the one thing that your life is lacking in spades. Now, I hate to break it to you, sister, but you pretty much shat your marital bed and you left that turd right there in the middle of the mattress. You've done nothing to clean it up. You just leave it there and expect a man to ignore that massive stinking chocolate mud baby that you left there. You've pretty much proven that you're not loyal, you're not willing to stick things out when things hit a rough patch, but you are willing to use a dude if it means you get something out of it. But it don't work that way, sister. You made the mess and it's not our job to clean it up, especially when it's covered in flies and it reeks worse than you on your average day out.
And that feels weird to say, but it's like, hey, I got married once. It failed. My second marriage better not fail. And so it's like, if he was going to be my first husband, I'd work through some of the stuff. I was naive and willing to put up with some bullshit. And I'm like looking at this guy who's great, and I'm like, am I willing to deal with this for a second marriage? No. And I feel so bad. It's like, you would totally make it if you were going to be my first husband, but second husband, no can do. So is anyone just struggling with their really high standards for their second husbands?
Hang on, let me see if I can get this straight here. You mean to tell me that you're trying to determine if men are worthy of your sloppy seconds? Woman, you really need to take what you can get because the pickings are going to be slim enough as it is. You're sitting there and pretty much telling the planet that you're not willing to do a thing to make your second marriage work, that the man must come pre-packaged with all of your wants, your needs, and desires covered, and anything less isn't worth your time. But here's the thing, sister. When you do that, you're telling men all over the planet that in order to get with you, they need to put up with the crap that you refuse to resolve on your end. And you've also set the precedent that anything that happens in your private business is somehow fair game to be used as fodder for your TikTok channel. Now, if you think the guy doesn't have TikTok, then he's never gonna find out. But you're forgetting something, woman. If you post this stuff on TikTok, there's a good chance that he might not see it, but random schmucks like us will find it, post it across multiple platforms, and even more men will see it then. You can't publicly smack talk a good dude behind his back and not expect him to find out. It's the age of the internet, sweetheart, and you're not immune to it just because you're high off the smell of your own used queefs.
I don't like you so much. For one, you're stinky, and for two, you don't smell so nice.
I'm with you, pal. I'm with you.
This video is actually for the men. If you're a woman, you can totally keep on watching. Love you. But this is specifically for the men. I just have a little question for you guys. It's a simple question, really.
Are any of you ready for a relationship?
You know.
How about new, you crazy Dutch bastard?
Well, no. The answer's clearly no. None of us are ready to be willingly walking into the Iron Maiden known as modern relationships, especially with someone who's as unhinged as you are. We've seen you at your worst, woman. You're screaming into a camera and demanding that we take you on in a relationship, and that's the kind of foreshadowing that's typically reserved for your poorly written garden variety Hallmark teen movie drama. And we're not watching that particular flick. If we're gonna watch a movie, we're gonna watch Raw Deal, one of the best movies around. This one was made back in Arnold Schwarzenegger's golden era, long before he became a pathetic, spineless, scrotless cuck has-been. It's a movie full of nice suits, fine cigars, and a rare example of Arnie reserving his epic one-liner not for the evil villain, but for something far worse, his deeply resentful and pathetically drunk wife.
You should not drink and bake.
And when you add in a dash of Robert Davi and a garment bag loaded to the brim with random firearms, then you know you're in for a good time. And when it comes to the choice of watching Raw Deal for the 18th time or taking a broad like this out for the first time, I think we all know which one will be more rewarding. And if you're interested in finding out why I have a deeply rooted disrespect for Arnold Schwarzenegger, check out the Bounty Board over on Patreon, where for $5 a month, you can check out weekly uploads of all sorts of crazy stuff. And by signing up, you get a personal shout out and your name added to this fine list of folks right here. So thank you for the support, Bounty Board. All hail!
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Men are so glad that they are not the ones who have to get pregnant and give birth to maintain human civilization, but they are so angry that women are the ones that do. And they are getting angrier and angrier about it as we gain agency and bodily autonomy and our own money and our own jobs and careers and educations, because what we're gaining is the ability to not need them, but they will never ever not need us because they cannot get pregnant and they cannot give birth. And controlling reproduction is everything. It is the control of who gets to be in the future, which men get to be in the future. It's the control of economies. It's the control of wars. Who's there to fight in the wars? It's the control of racial demographics and nations and labor. It is the control of everything. And it is very hard to control those things when the people doing the reproduction, women, have humanity, have thoughts and feelings and agency and the ability to not be with men just because you have to be with a man. To take thoughtful consideration into which men get to be in the future and get to reproduce with you. And they are realizing that, and it is causing so much anger.
Whoa, that is some deep dish racism, motherfucker!
Oh, Mrs. Agnes, you silly, dim-witted little bridge troll. You don't have any humanity. I don't see how you can have any of that when all you talk about is how much we hate you. But that's just the thing, Mrs. Agnes. We really don't hate you. We're kind of baffled, maybe amused, but definitely laughing our asses off. But hate? Nah, you're not worthy of that much dedication. Now, you're completely wrong. Let's just say that you decide to go on a massive birthing strike, and there's not enough young men to send into the meat grinder of war, or work the factories, or control economies, which really makes no sense, but I digress. In the event of dire times, guess what's gonna happen? They're gonna see an able-bodied woman like yourself who's not doing anything. They're just gonna throw you into a panel van, force you to put on a used, blood-soaked military uniform, hand you a rifle with 4 rounds, and send you to the front line to go to town. That's literally how it works. And the fact that you think you have power over us because you refuse to breed is not true in the slightest, Mrs. Agnes. We don't need you or your hateful rhetoric. We're doing just fine without you. Society's gonna collapse thanks to the massive population crisis that's nipping at our heels, and we're just enjoying the peace while it lasts. Meanwhile, you're losing your freaking mind over how much we're not. So who's the angry one, Mrs. Agnes? I'll give you a hint. It sure ain't us.
It is causing so much anger. And growing a human baby in the dead corpse of a woman is the literal definition of separating our humanity from our reproduction. And this is why you should be skeptical of people who focus so much on the humanity only of the life created, only of the baby, but not of the mother, not of the pregnancy. The humanity is in the process. We are the process. There's a product, we are the process. The humanity is also in the process. You dehumanize the process, you can control the process. You dehumanize the process, we have less agency in doing that process. And part of that process is choosing the partner of the reproduction, is choosing the man. You dehumanize the process, men have an easier time controlling their ability to participate in that process. You cannot let them separate our humanity from our reproduction. You cannot take this shit lightly.
You're an inanimate object!
Well, that's just it, Mrs. Agnes. You do control who gets to impregnate you, and you choose poorly like 9.5 times out of 10. And if anybody has dehumanized the process of creating life, it was you. I mean, let's think about this for a second. You think that pregnancy termination is a straight up human right, and that women should be paid for doing their half to making a marriage work, and all you do is give excuses as to why women shouldn't give birth. What's more dehumanizing than that? And it's kind of hard to say that you're the one with humanity when you're the first to say that a baby growing in the womb is just a clump of cells. And besides, you're in no position to talk about this because you've made it clear that you don't even want to have kids, which is fine. I mean, that's totally your right as a human. But let's just think about this for a second, Mrs. Agnes. Your content consists mainly of bragging about your nails and hating on men. That's about it. You dehumanize us for pretty much any excuse you can think of. And yet we're the ones who are dehumanizing babies, which is impossible because the proud members of the illustrious bottom 95% club are ignored on a daily basis. The fact that you bitch about damn near anything proves that you're not capable of having any love in your heart. And that's not our fault, but I guess I can't fault you for having no humanity whatsoever. You actually have to be a human for that to happen, Mrs. Agnes. And that's gonna do it for today's video, gentlemen and gents. And as always, if you find that my particular brand of comedy is bringing you to the brink of laughter, then why don't you scroll on down and click that like and subscribe button, ring the notification bell, leave a couple of comments, and be sure to share this video so we can give the good old-fashioned middle finger to the YouTube algorithm. Thank you once again for checking out the new video, gentlemen and gents, and until next time, peace out, homies.